And welcome into another episode of Beyond the Forecast. Meteorologist Rob Lindenmuth here with my colleague Kevin Appleby. Kevin, we were going to kind of go a little bit of a different route this week.
Yeah.
But I think if you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of rain. We're recording this on Wednesday when a lot of the flooding is ongoing across parts of the region. So we're going to go based on rainfall amounts as of noon on Wednesday, because even those are out of date almost as soon as you write them down because of how fast the rain is falling. I don't know, as long as I've been here in Albany, Kevin, that I've seen an event like this.
No.
Without having tropical ties. You know, some folks are asking on social media, you know, are you sure it's not tropical? No, it's not. It came in from the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Like it did not. Now, it has a feed from the Atlantic Ocean, but it's not tropical in nature. So that is the difference. And it's causing not good things to happen out there on this Wednesday. So
I was out in the mobile storm tracker when we were still at like 5 inches of rain in some spots.
There's areas, and you said it, Kevin, before you went on at noon today, there's going to be areas that end up with over a foot of rain from this.
Yep.
Like easily.
We're going to use Skodak. I'd be shocked if you stayed less than a foot. I mean, you're already at like 10 and a half as of recording this. And our number that we're going to show you is going to be less than 10 because that much fell during the noon newscast.
Exactly. So, obviously, this week's focus is going to be on the flooding rains. There's been a rainfall deficit. Folks thought we were in a drought. We've never been in a drought. Drier than normal conditions. Parts of the area, I think maybe the Berkshires was like a moderate drought, but nothing crazy. I went through the numbers. Most of the deficits are now erased. Kevin, obviously, I used some of your stuff from earlier this week.
Yeah.
With the deficits that we had before the rain came.
The deficit becomes a surplus.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Record-setting in many ways. I don't know if it's record-setting, but in Albany, we'll say record-setting. It's at least top 5, top 10. Exactly. So, and then if we have time, we put together a brief outlook at August for temperatures and sunrise and things like that. So our focus today has been on the rain, so that's why maybe we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive into August next week. Probably makes sense. As of recording this, I have become increasingly concerned, Kevin, I think you have too, over the flooding potential for the Schoharie Creek.
Yeah.
All morning long, this has continued to go up. As of noon, it was in moderate flood stage, and it's forecast to get close to major flood stage this afternoon, Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, we've been kind of relating this to, you know, the wettest day in Albany, the wettest day since Irene, really.
Yep.
In 2011, and that's what folks, I think, in the Schoharie Valley really remember is the major flooding. Now, the position of the rainfall is likely different on the heaviest rain, but you got to think, all of this rain, where's it going to go? Right? It's got to go through the smaller creeks and streams and the smaller valleys, and eventually it comes to the Hudson and the Mohawk rivers. So today it's the small creeks and streams. By Thursday, by the time this is airing, it's probably the bigger rivers that are having some flooding concerns. Yeah. So,
I didn't change the banner here.
We didn't change the banner here. But that's okay. This is rainfall since, what, like Tuesday afternoon?
Yeah, through noon Wednesday.
Yep.
So we cut it off at noon. So like I said, we've added on since these numbers.
Yeah, so I mean, the number in Skodak, as of the time we came in to record, just after 1, almost an inch higher than that. Unbelievable.
It's the same areas.
Unbelievable. Now, one of the questions I got, Kevin, I'm going to throw this to you and see if maybe you have any more insight than what I gave. One of the questions I got on Facebook was, hey, actually, you know what? I'm going to read it because it was a very good question and a very fair question.
That's appropriate.
Yes.
In the meantime, I'll just mention that through noon so far, the highest rainfall totals have been right around the Tri-Cities region, up towards Saratoga area, Schaghticoke, and then points south and southeast.
Where it's 5+ inches of rain.
Yeah, really the hardest hit in my eyes were western Rensselaer County and western Columbia County, as well as along I-87 in Albany and Greene counties.
Right down
And
down
you could
the
say within
valley.
the Catskills as well. Tannersville
Yep.
picked up 8 inches of rain. It's got to go somewhere. We
Yep.
saw some videos from up there. So what's the comment?
So this question comes from Sarah. She goes, serious question. I'm not blaming anyone.
Yeah.
She goes, strictly an educational question. Is this something that could have been predicted in the last 24 hours, or is it something that came from nowhere? We're able to predict snow even a night before. Why is rain so much harder? Now, she does clarify, because somebody did say that we've been talking about it for a few days.
Yeah.
And she clarifies with the severe flooding. That's what she's asking. Now, I think my response to her, Kevin, was, this is very similar to winter forecasting, because you'll get a general idea of, hey, this is going to be big, but you may miss the exact areas.
Oh, yeah.
The resolution of the guidance, it's the technology isn't to the point of being able to get it down to the town.
No, not at all.
And when a lot of guidance, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, started to get on board that this was going to be a big event, we knew it was going to be a big event. We just didn't know it was going to be this big. You start seeing those outlandish numbers, you kind of scratch your head and say, that's not going to happen.
Because the thing is, and I'll add to this, is a lot of times models, especially several days out, will spit out these numbers.
Crazy. And I related it to the snow in the winter.
Yeah.
You'll see 30-inch snowfall amounts 3 days out,
almost never happens.
Yep.
So, you're kind of closing your eyes and trying to hit the center dart of a dartboard with zero experience in terms of does this 6-inch rainstorm actually happen?
Exactly.
Because a lot of times they go away. And another thing I'll add is that, you get closer, you say, okay, this is going to be a big deal. Kind of to add to what Rob said, somewhere is going to get significant impacts. You don't know where. Even 12 hours out, you don't know where. I mean, a lot of the guidance came in yesterday evening with the bullseye in New England.
Yep.
So we knew there was going to be significant rain.
And we knew there was the potential for 3 to 6 plus.
Yeah, and we were,
did we think a foot? No, but 3 to 6 plus.
What I was saying over a foot is insane.
Unbelievable. No.
You're talking about a top 5 rainfall in a day in Albany.
Yep.
All time since 1870. So my point being, you're never going to forecast that.
No, because these high-end events, even with big snowstorms, 20, 30-inch snowstorms, you're never going to forecast that.
No.
Because it doesn't happen frequently.
No, not at all.
We may get close, but it does not happen frequently. And you don't want to be the one that cried wolf. You don't want to be continually saying, hey, 6 to 10 inches of rain, when it doesn't happen.
It never really happens. I mean, even our 2 to 4, 2 to 3 with locally higher was kind of scoffed at first.
Yes. Yep.
And, this is just a very unique event. And the mesoscale models start coming in and you get the idea that there's going to be some crazy numbers. So you say locally higher. We don't know where. We really don't know where.
We just try to pinpoint the general geographic area, which in this case, we thought it was going to be Berkshire, Southern Vermont, maybe Catskills.
Yeah. We're not talking about a huge difference from that thinking.
Nope. It's just that heavy band just was, 30 to 40 miles west.
Yeah. Which, unfortunately, I know, hate saying this and hate hearing this out there, but that's kind of within the margin of error for guidance on something like this. So, it's not like this did something totally unforeseen. Unfortunately, this was going to happen somewhere. It just happened near Albany and just south. I mean, it could have happened in Connecticut. That's what happened. It happened about 3 weeks ago in southern New York and Connecticut. So,
and I appreciate the comment. So, and she did respond to my response, thanking me and everything. So no hard feelings. And
it's a good question, and it's one that I'm kicking myself.
I think the technology where we're at right now, yes, it's a lot further than what it was a decade ago. But it still has a ways to go to be able to get down to that fine detail of this is where you're going to be targeting the most extreme weather event.
These are the exact numbers.
Exactly. We've still got time to go with that,
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
And there's definitely this deserves a case study.
And I'm sure they will.
This deserves all the attention because it's almost unfathomable. And the way, right as we're speaking, Rob, a band of heavy rain setting up over the same spots. It's just.
That's why we keep getting the continuous flash flood warnings. That's why the alerts are going out on the phone, because it's considerable. A lot of the counties on Wednesday afternoon are state of emergency right now because there's roadways washed out. There's raging rivers that were just creeks a day or two ago. And this is why we always urge people not to, it seems ridiculous to continually say, but turn around, don't drown. Literally. Because we saw stranded cars this morning.
Rescues.
And you never know. This is my biggest thing. You never know, A, what's in the water, or B, if the road is even still there.
Yeah.
The road could be washed out, and that could be a major thing, obviously. You drive into that, and then all of a sudden you're in a ditch, And we're not trying to belittle anybody that gets stuck in the water like that, but you're also putting others' lives in danger when they have to come and save you. So if you don't have to go out, don't in situations like this.
It's just a crazy storm.
It is. I mean, and so far for the rainfall, Kevin, we were at a deficit on Monday.
2 days ago.
Well, we'll get into that. Yeah. But so far for Albany, as of noon on Wednesday, over 8 inches of rain.
I mean, anytime you're in the same breath as Irene, it's just not good.
And our average is just over 4 through this time of the month. So
not double. Well, less than double.
It'll be double.
It will.
It'll end up double. I mean, this is insane. So you threw some of these numbers together. This is what you threw together as of Monday morning. If you want to walk us through some of that.
Sure.
Obviously, you don't have to go through every single one.
Yeah, so, outside of Pittsfield,
yep.
For the month of July, pretty much all of us are at a deficit. Mm-hmm. Glens Falls barely saw any rain through this point in the month. They're probably going to end up near normal when all is said and done. They were at such a deficit. For the year, a lot of these are made up as well. Pittsfield, probably be a little bit over. Maybe North Adams and Bennington might stay a little below, but they're going to make up a lot of ground a lot quicker than anticipated, that's for sure. Glens Falls, probably a little minor deficit for the year when all is said and done. Albany's not going to be at a deficit. No way. We're going to probably get half a foot or more.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable because this was just, 48 hours ago?
2 days ago.
And this is where we're at.
For the month, it's incredible.
Everybody has a surplus now for the month. Now, Glens Falls, we were having some...
Well, actually, I shouldn't say sorry. I apologize to interrupt that because they only had 5,500s to this point. So maybe
So they will be adding. Unfortunately, the data coming in from the airport station there was down since yesterday. So on Tuesday. So that is why we have NA because...
It should still come in its entirety,
yes.
But it's just not available right now.
Exactly. But Albany, as we mentioned, over 8 inches, so that's almost 4 inches above. Bennington, over 5.5 inches, 1.5 inches above for the month. Pittsfield, over 8 inches, over 4 inches for the month now. And North Adams closing in on 6 inches, which is almost 2 inches above for the month. Now, if you put that into the year...
Yep.
As you mentioned, Bennington and North Adams likely, still below. They had the highest deficits. Those are the areas that I mentioned at the top of the show, Kevin, that off to the east kind of had abnormally dry, moderate drought conditions. Everywhere else, though, no. And Pittsfield overtook that. Albany overtook that. Now, I hope the rain that we've seen will actually put a dent in the deficit. Obviously, the deficit it will, but for the dry conditions, I mean, it's been raining heavy almost the entire time. So a lot of this rain has led to just runoff.
Yeah.
And that's when it's not beneficial. Yes, it's still beneficial, but it's not as beneficial as if it were steady, light rain.
You space it out over a week instead of a day and a half.
Exactly.
It's much better.
I mean, we're seeing monthly rainfall amounts in 2 days.
In a few hours.
It's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. I think we do have some more graphics to talk about, but Kevin, we're closing in at about 15 minutes, so I think we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk about what is making this a historic event for Albany, because obviously that's where we've got all the records from, and it's remarkable, so don't go away. welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. Kevin, you were telling me we were looking at the records. I was looking at July, and then you brought up a good point. You said, what about daily rainfall amounts? These numbers are, this is all time. This is not for just July. This is all time in Albany. And I think these numbers pretty much tell the tale.
I mean, we're probably third, at least.
And this is through noon on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're already up.
Yeah, we are third already.
We are third as of recording this. We just didn't get to update this. But through noon, we were fourth. As of this recording, we are number three, sorry. We could surpass Irene, Kevin.
I mean, let's see radar. I mean, I get a better idea. Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh my gosh, how is it worse?
I think we had another 0.18. So that puts us to
4.15,
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
We only need a half an inch more to get to Irene.
I'd have that by 4 o'clock with what the radar looks like. Might be about 4.4. It's pouring.
This is one of those things, and you mentioned this after the noon. It was one of those where you're like, I have to be very serious. You don't think about that on a daily forecasting basis, right? I mean, eight days out of 10, we'll say, is quiet,
especially around here.
It's just general everyday weather. Days like today, when we start seeing things are being washed out and roads are getting closed and states of emergency, widespread flooding, that's when it kind of hits you a little bit more. It's to me anyways, that's when I'm like, this is why I'm doing this job, because it's to keep people safe. Our tones might change a little bit when we're on air once we start seeing numbers like this.
Yeah.
You don't think about flooding as much. You think about the severe aspect. You think about tornadic, activity. You think about the big winter storms. You don't think about flooding as much because it doesn't happen as frequently on a widespread basis like this. Usually you get a couple of bad thunderstorms and you're talking about, flooding for a couple of hours or something. This is significant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't get any more input.
probably gonna be second place for daily rainfall. I mean, based on the radar, I got to throw out at least that radar is incredible.
And there were a couple hours overnight that Albany was picking up almost an inch an hour.
Yeah.
So
what is July's?
This is for July, and again, this is as of noon. We could easily get put into the top 3 now based on this. Excuse me, top 5.
Yeah.
Well, probably top 4 maybe.
I think top four looks like a safe bet.
I was looking at 2021 for some reason. I was going back in time. Yeah. So right now we're 807. We're number 6.
We're so much lower than this 2 days ago. It's yesterday.
It's insane. Well, think about it. We've picked up almost 6 inches of rain. So, I mean, this is just. I mean, we could talk about this all day long. But I do think this is going to have implications for days. This is not going to be just a one day thing. The mountainous areas. Where does all the water go? Into the smaller caverns, smaller creeks and streams. Eventually, it will all come out to the bigger rivers, and there will be some rises on them as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we have any more rain graphics, Kevin. We do not. So unless you have anything else to say on this.
I mean, I'm trying to think back to the last 3 years I've been here now. I don't think I've covered a weather event of this magnitude in my time here.
And I've been here for 8.
Yeah, and you're thinking that too?
And, well, 2021, that was the very wet, and I think that may have been Isaias, but I don't remember exactly when
Isaias was 2020.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure exactly what 2021 was.
It's a name this year, that's why I know that. Sorry. 6-year rotation.
But I think that's probably the other situation that was similar.
Yeah.
But it was quicker moving.
Oh, so much quicker.
So we didn't
that storm was in a hurry.
we didn't have 10 inches of rain.
No.
I think there were areas with maybe 4 and 5, but not 10 inches of rain.
Probably within a few hours, but not this.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
It's just like for, ever since Saturday I got in, my work week Saturday through today. Saturday I'm looking at this setup. Sunday I'm looking at this setup. Both days I'm saying I think it's going to be, scattered rounds of heavy rain. It just...
Even last Friday, Kevin.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at it and I go, okay, widespread 1 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
That, 5 days in advance, that's as much of a forecast as you're able to do,
Right, because we were talking about it earlier, like the models are not reliable.
No, no. And at that point, you're looking at
like
ensembles, and all the ensembles were on board.
Yeah.
And then when you get to 3 days before, that's when you start getting like, okay, where are the heavier areas going to be?
I think where I'm at, Rob, is I've had an uneasy feeling about this storm my entire work week, and I'm just trying to figure out like how we could have done better, because there's definitely ways we could have done better.
There's days we could have done better, but at the same time, we're only as good as the technology is right now. And the only reason I'm going back to that because, you look at the models and you could see you got that big fetch right off of the Atlantic Ocean. You got high pressure off to the east. You got the low pressure to our south and west. And right in between, where's that conveyor belt going? Right at us. And the models, as we said, were throwing out those crazy numbers. I don't know if we could have gotten better with this.
I mean,
I hate to say it that way, but I don't know if we could have.
I don't like have the answer.
Yeah.
But I want to find the answer.
Yeah.
I think is where I'm at with this. Because like I said, I've had an uneasy feeling. By the actual numbers that we've seen, I'm a little surprised, but I'm not surprised that there's serious flooding in the region.
Yep.
And I know we were saying ahead of time flooding, but
we just have to get better at communicating when these extreme events happen. I think that's what it comes down to, because people, you could say it's going to be flooding, but people, I don't know if they necessarily take it seriously. And it goes back to it doesn't happen here all the time.
It doesn't.
So when you're talking about widespread flooding, I hate to say the comment, but the comment is always the same. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Or, I guess I'll have to go build an ark. Well, unfortunately, that is what's happening. And I don't know how much more communication we can do.
Yeah.
Without sounding the alarm to panic people.
Yeah, and like that's like the tightrope.
There's a very fine line.
That's the tightrope we've been walking with this, because you don't want, like very much, especially 2 or 3 days out, this maxima, these bands could have set up over central Mass.
And especially, think about North and West where they've had less rain. Yes, they've still got a lot of rain, but they're not seeing the flooding that we're seeing here in the capital region.
We went to record Cobleskill, still had less than an inch.
Exactly.
In this storm, so.
Just crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
This is one that's going to be, we're going to be talking about this for a while.
Yes,
definitely. And so are all you out there, especially if you're dealing with flooding. I couldn't believe, just driving this morning, it's just like, you talk about flood risk for days out, and then you just see it transpire, and it's still somehow like, it takes your breath away.
It's hard to fathom. It really is. It really is. We're going to take a quick break. I might give you a quick little teaser on August, but I think we're going to save a lot of August stuff for next week.
Yeah, that's fair.
So don't go away. And welcome back for a couple of minutes here into Beyond the Forecast. We're going to shift gears just a little bit.
August is going to start off way calmer than this system.
We are going into August on Saturday. And I just like to be the bringer of bad news.
I did this on Tuesday, but still.
70 to 80 minutes lost in the Northeast here of daylight.
And I was pointing out that more of that's on the sunset than the sunrise. The sunrise, we're still losing about...
You're noticing it, though, in the evening.
Oh, yeah. The sunrise is about a minute a day
Yep.
for the next 6 weeks. The thing about the sunsets is that up until Tuesday, we had lost about 18 minutes from the latest sunset. And in the next 2 weeks, we're going to lose another 17 minutes. And then the 2 weeks after that, it was like 22. And then the 2 weeks after that, it was almost 25. So we're
additional.
Yeah. Every 2 weeks is another 25 minutes. It's getting a lot faster at night.
It's one of those. So I
August
get home.
is tricky.
I usually get home around like 7 or so, and usually I'd have almost 2 hours of day. You know, it gets. You know, that twilight around 9 or so.
But you could.
But it's starting to happen around 8:30 now, and I'm like, oh, it's actually noticeable. And I look at the time, and I'm like, oh, it's not even 9 yet.
And now we're, like I said, now we're losing at least a minute a day, and the nights are going to be tough.
Yep.
I mean, I remember I was talking to Matt about this on Tuesday, and he said at least it's not 4:22 or whatever the earliest sun's.
Oh.
And I'm like, you know what? When you put it like that,
it's on the way.
You're absolutely right. We still have about a month and a half, almost 2 months until the equinox. So, you know, we're basically, like, as of recording this, have wrapped up the longest 2.5 month stretch of days in the year. Oh, they're all 24 hours, but the longest amount of daylight. So it's just going to be a little tough adjustment because I have gotten comfy with these evenings. And oh my goodness! And that's a great point, Rob. Like I'm waking up now,
real quick,
and it's total darkness when I leave my room, and I don't got a light switch.
And of course,
anywhere near my
you
door.
leave very early to get here, so
it was nice. I had like a 2 or 3 month stretch where I had the light coming through. You know, I got a little window on the roof. Is it a sunlight? I don't know.
At least some.
I had some
dawn.
I didn't have to use my phone flashlight. Now I do. First world problems compared to everything going on out there right now. Hope everybody's out there, cleaning up, staying safe with all this.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna leave you on. Hopefully, if you do have damage, it wasn't anything too extreme. Otherwise, please stay safe. If you can, if there's any flooding video or pictures, and you can do so safely, we would love to have those pictures, and maybe we'll show them next week on Beyond the Forecast. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.